Hello again and welcome to our Facebook page live here from Murrayfield. I'm Geoff Webster, just ahead of the second autumn test between Scotland and Argentina. Delighted to be joined by Colin Gregor, former captain of the Scotland Sevens team. Colin, it's hard to believe we're just a week on from the Australia match. First of all, looking back on that one, what were your impressions?
First and foremost, very positive performance from Scotland. The way they really took the game to Australia. They attacked with such intent for large periods of the game. They defended very, very well. I guess at the end of the day it's a defeat, which is the frustrating thing, but with so many positives they can really come into this game against Argentina full of confidence and looking to build on last week's performance.
1 week on, the crowd that come along here today may say, well, if you can take Australia to within 1 point, surely it should be fairly straightforward against Argentina. That's perhaps a bit simplistic.
That's the perception that people have, and it's failing to give Argentina the respect that they deserve, that they're now in the Rugby Championship with Australia and New Zealand, South Africa. They beat Ireland at the World Cup last year. That they're a quality outfit, ranked one place above Scotland in the world rankings, which is obviously another important factor in this game. But Scotland have to be confident with the way that they performed last week, and coming into this game. Argentina lost to Wales last weekend, but again it was a close game, so they've got that one more game under their belt. They're acclimatised to Europe, so it's by no means a given that Scotland will win this, but if they play as they showed they can last week, then I'm confident they will. 1
week on and 4 changes to the Scotland team, including a first cap for Marcus Bradbury from Edinburgh. Tell us about him. Why has he suddenly burst through like this?
Just one of the young quality players that is developing through the Scottish game just now, that had a run around with the Sevens team at a couple of tournaments last year. Looked very impressive, just a big physical guy, likes getting his hands on the ball, very effective at ball carrying, and mixes it up defensively. And okay, there are injuries in the back row. Josh Strauss out, John Hardy out as well, Ryan Wilson maybe recovering from his wound last week, but credit again to Vern Cotter, he said Magnus Bradbury's trained well, he's looked the part, I think he's talked about how he's not just a one-trick pony, and so it's great to see these young guys getting an opportunity to play, to perform and go out and represent their country.
Now, we spoke last week about the front row of the scrum with great experience, of course, Ross Ford winning his 100th cap. Now, he's rested, he's on the bench today, and in comes Fraser Brown. Still Alan Dell and Xander Ferguson at either side of him. What do you make of the change to that front row?
I think Fraser Brown's a quality player. I think arguably he is a better player than Ross Ford. Maybe not quite the same physical presence, but around the pitch at his set piece he's
more mobile, some people say. Is that fair enough assessment?
I totally agree with that, and he's more effective in the loose, that he gets his hands on ball, he carries very well, and obviously he played a lot of rugby as a back row growing up, and you see that if he's around the breakdown and there's ball there to be turned over, he's very effective at getting hands on ball and winning turnovers. So, and it's a big one for Dell and Ferguson to build on last week. They came in, nothing was expected of them last week, but they've now set the benchmark, as have the rest of the team, that's the minimum standard of what's expected from them.
Scarlet's John Barclay at number 8. Some people said last week was his finest performance in a Scotland jersey. Would you go along with that?
Certainly not far off. I've thought for years that he's a quality player. He's just maturing, he's experienced now, he's a natural leader of this team, a guy that you want to have in the back row. He's played 6, 7 and 8, so it's great to see him getting a chance at 8 for this game.
Well, it's a game we're eagerly anticipating here at Murrayfield. You can hear it on BBC Radio Scotland, medium wave, online, digital and Radio 5 Live Sports Extra. But for the meantime, from Murrayfield, thanks for joining us.